Welcome back, everyone. We're going straight into the next map here, which will be Entombed Valley between Hart and Ganzi, with Ganzi taking game one, guys. Rob, is Hart going to be able to come back here, or is Ganzi going to seal the deal?
Ganzi has been playing TVT so well for so long, that was already something that everybody knew that he was strong at. And Hart, on the other hand, he's already had a great performance, right? Whereas Ganzi has had a long time coming to get this far in an event. So I don't think that there's any way that Ganzi will let this one go. Of course, Hart's obviously going to fight. Try as he might, though, Ganzi has got the eye of the tiger this game. Down in the lower left corner of the screen, currently that free agent, we know him for winning that first game, Ganzi. And his opponent up here, representing Team Complexity, Hart. Been a very strong player.
Yeah, that is very true. You know, when I first cast, I believe it was Hart versus Huck, I ended up catching some flack, actually, from Jason Lake for saying that this guy's just kind of an unknown Korean. He has online results. It's one of his first big LAN events, and he played so well in the pool play, eliminating both Huck and Violet.
Yes.
Not eliminating, but beating both Huck and Violet, I believe, 2-1 and 2-0 respectively. So he is definitely just proving a point here that he is a damn fine member, and definitely a great addition to the Complexity Gaming Syndicate. Sorry, not syndicate.
And that's right. I mean, you know, he's probably here to stay, right? You don't see players with a lot of talent or players that finish top 8 at an MLG go anywhere, because they will keep playing. And now it's looking like Ganzi is going to go for Command Center first.
And that is, on a map like this, I'm okay with that. It's a very large map in Entombed Valley. His opponent is going to scout southward first, though, meaning he will, in fact, see this.
Also
and
pretty fast refinery.
Yeah, so he is opening up with a very common opening. I think it was 13 racks, 14 gas. So going to be getting that command center. Oh, excuse me. Whoa, he's actually getting the orbital. Nope, that's right, on 16. I thought it was on 15. Anyways, here comes the racks for Ganzi, who every time I go over his name, I still believe it's Sella playing.
Sella's everywhere at once, man.
He is.
So out here, we can see that Ganzi just about has that command center wrapping up. Obviously, there's nothing out on the field that Hart's going to be able to do about it quite yet, but he needs to get aggression out there. If Ganzi's able to just stay on 2 base, this can be a lot of wow. And actually adding on that tech lab right now potentially means that it's going to be even longer until he gets any real meat out on the field. He is going for that Reaper first, or well, directly after getting his first Marine. And he's got to get a lot of kills here. Or at least enough to force out units.
Exactly. The command center finishes, so Hart missing his timing just by a second or so. And he will not finish that SCV, but I'm sure the Reaper's going to go back in for it. One of these Marines finishes. We see that 3 SCVs were pulled from Ganzi, which is the correct response to this small little attack coming out for Hart. And the Reaper, Rob, is coming.
Oh man, that Reaper, man, he's going to be headed down there. Of course, the small force from Hart is going to be hard pressed to make too much happen down here, because Ganzi is now able to just double pump Marines repeatedly. Now, the interesting follow-up here is that right now Hart has just started Stim, and he's adding on 2 more barracks as well as a command center of his own. Oh, and that impeccable Marine placement means that Ganzi was just able to thwart that SCV, and as soon as they don't have enough meat out there, the assault has to pause.
Yeah, what that SCV going down for, Ganzi really did is it took 2 shots from that Reaper before going up the ramp, meaning that Ganzi would have the advantage there. And right now, did he actually make another Reaper? No, it looks like he stopped and went straight to producing Marines and threw up a bunker just in case we had a counterattack with 2 reactors as well.
Well, interesting play. I guess he's going to continue with this Marine aggression because he's only got 1 tech lab. He's still working on Stim, and down here we've got Ganzi working out a tech lab and a reactor of his own, and also adding on an engineering base. So we're probably also going to see very many infantry out of him.
Yeah, and bioplay versus bioplay kind of signals a very action-packed early to mid-game here. We'll see exactly when they decide to add on the factories, though. Combat Shield going first for Ganzi here, as still no stem, of course, and he's going to use this little backwards area to make sure that he isn't scouted by a Zelnaga control.
Right, with how just how action-packed TVT has become lately has just been phenomenal. We talked about a little bit earlier that as players understood and explored the matchup more, it seems like they know when they can strike. They know that there's better areas to strike as opposed to waiting until the end of the game. And here, that bunker is just going to deny anything that Ganzi wants to make happen at that ramp.
I mean, I still feel that mech is the superior kind of strategy in this if you play like MVP does. The thing is that not very many people play like MVP does. I mean, Marine King still very bio kind of centric. Bomber for a while, who had one of the best TVTs in the world, rarely would ever go mech because he was just not comfortable with it. It is a much harder style to use effectively, and as more and more people experiment with this bio play, they're really just getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah, well, mech is something that's just kind of weird to play after playing heavy bio because your units just need so much babysitting. And here we have more and more Marines just being pumped out by Hart. And over here, adding on the starport and the reactor, so you can bet that's going to be followed up by Medivacs. He's also adding on 2 more Raxes of his own. No, Hart taking down that neutral supply depot.
Now, one of the things really that you can do going with this heavy bio play, if your opponent is going some type of kind of middle of the road with the Marine tank style play, is just go drop on all of their production facilities with 2 or 4 drop ships. But when it's bioplays versus bioplay, sometimes you'll just see a lot of base trade scenarios if the 2 armies somehow bypass each other here in the center of the map. And with these medevacs about to come out here pretty soon for Stella, he might just go for a drop. But I think at the same time, or excuse me, for Ganzi, I think at the same time, you know, Hart might just go for a drop as well.
And Hart has so many more Marines though right now. Like, he just finished his combat shield upgrade. He's going to be moving up the ramp very shortly. And unless a good chunk of SCVs are pulled, now that Stim has finished for Hart, he's pushing all the way up there. The bunker does go down, and oh man, Ganzi just doesn't have that many units left. He's forced to pull SCVs, but it's just not enough. It seems as though the Stim timing may have really been what's going to win this game for him.
Yeah, and that is a little bit not good play there. I think that was actually the +1 coming out of Hart that really did it for him. Actually, both players have +1. But now with that orbital command falling, that is not going to be good, except for a good game, most likely, from Ganzi here in just a couple seconds.
Yeah, he really only had a small window. If Ganzi had Stim there and had the ramp advantage, as well as having out his tanks, he could have done a much better job defending that. But Hart must have known that timing and knew that that was when he needed to strike.
Yeah, and you can see actually Hart is doing the correct thing here, falling back and throwing down another expansion. He knows that his opponent has been crippled economically, and he's going to have to fight his way really, really hard back into this match. And Ganzi's actually kind of moved out slowly. Doesn't have siege tech just yet. He can set up a nice kind of perimeter around his expansion. Eventually, his third as well. He might just go into full-on turtle mode from this point on. Hart needs to probably start dropping here.
Yeah, Hart absolutely has to press this advantage because Ganzi could get back in the game if he leaves him alone for too long. Although Ganzi has not added on another command center, so really he's just stuck on whatever he can do from one base, and Hart is doing a great job staying active, making sure that Ganzi hasn't tried to really get back in this game by double expanding. And now the siege tech is almost finished up for Hart, but he actually doesn't have any tanks up there quite yet. Oh man, and Ganzi is forced to pull more SCVs, and it's looking like Hart's army is going to be pushed back.
Yeah, kind of a weird turn of events there, as looks like Hart overstayed his welcome now, as he is pushing with a whole lot of units here. 1-1 compared to the 1-1 as well for Hart. These SCVs need to slow down though, because this tank on the high ground and this tank are just going to be really, really annoying for these Marines. And once again, Rob, here we go.
Yes, Hart is moving in here, and we see Ganzi trying to push through, but Hart just has too many things. He also has siege tech already finished up, and all that he needs to do is repeatedly bait in Ganzi until he is all out of his units. And there it is. Ganzi is forced to tap out.
Yeah, so 1-1 now. We are going into game 3. We will find out exactly what map it will be on right after this break, guys. Don't go anywhere. More action with JP and Rob right here from the MLG Winter Championships.